1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Mandolin Land, Mike Hedding here, coming to you today with the old song New River Train in the key of D. I believe I first heard this song on an old Monroe Brothers duet album, Charlie and Bill Monroe, kind of a pre-bluegrass brother duet that was kind of set the stage of the foundation for bluegrass. There's also a great version on the Doc Watson and David Grisman album, Doc and Dog. I believe this song was on there as well. It's a great old song. It's been done by a lot of different people. And we're going to do more of a traditional bluegrass arrangement. So we're going to add some slides, add a lot more drone strings, fill it up with some Monroe-style rhythm and double stops. We're going to throw all that stuff in there to play two solos, one starting down the neck and one starting up, and the second one up the neck. I'll break down the two solos exactly as I played them at the beginning of the video, note for note, and then we'll go over 3 or 4 different ways to play back up to this song, using kind of classic Monroe-style chop chords, using more strumming. We'll throw in some little fills. We'll do some 7th chords. We'll just kind of show you an easy way to spice up the backup. This is kind of a beginner, maybe drifting into intermediate arrangement, but I think you can get this one with some practice. All right, let's start breaking down New River Train in the key of D. All right, so let's start breaking down this version of New River Train in the key of D. And before we jump into the solo, let's just talk briefly about the thought process here. So we're going to do more of a traditional bluegrass style arrangement than like a modern bluegrass style arrangement. And my thought process here was basically kind of trying to pay tribute to the old style bluegrass mandolin. And you have to think about the time that these pickers were playing in and how it relates to how they actually played the mandolin. So a lot of times in traditional bluegrass style mandolin or early brother duets of another kind of early bluegrass way is they would add a lot of drone strings, they would add a lot of strumming. They wouldn't do as many like fancy licks, but they would basically be using a lot of their right hand to create the sound, and they were playing in a lot smaller ensembles. So I think that's part of the reason why I think they used a lot of those drone strings basically to fill up the sound. So a drone string is either a note higher or lower ringing out against the melody line that you're playing. And if you think about if you're just playing in a very small ensemble, you want more sound. So that's where adding those drone strings can be very helpful. Or if you're playing the song completely solo, adding drone strings, again, it fills up the sound. It gives the appearance that there's more going on than just playing single notes like you might in more of a modern bluegrass style. So check out some early brother duets. Obviously, the Monroe brothers, Bill and Charlie Monroe, Louvin brothers. There's a great CD, Doc and Dog, Doc Watson and David Grisman. I think they actually have a version of New River Train on that album. So check that out. You can hear how they use a lot of their right hand to fill up the sound. There's not a lot of space between the notes. They're basically filling up the sound with their right hand to, again, because it's a smaller ensemble, you have to fill up a little bit more of the sound. So that's a little bit of the thought process real briefly. Now let's jump into the solo. All right, so let's play the first 5 measures. This melody is broken down into like 4 parts. So we'll kind of play it phrase by phrase. Here we go. That's kind of phrase 1. Here we go. Do it really slow. 1. One time a little faster. So our melody is going to start up on this open A string, and we're basically going to be walking up in measure 1 is going to be the pickup. So we're going to start with our index finger down on the 2nd fret of the G string, which is also an A note. So we're basically doing octaves. We're going from a low A to a high A is really what we're doing. So B1 is a rest, and we're going to play 2, 4, 2nd fret and 4th fret on the G string with a down up, and then open D, and then 4th fret with our middle finger on the D string. So we have 1. So 1, 2, and 3, 4 is how you count it. So I'm doing down, up, down, down. 1. So not too hard. We're just trying to get up to, like I said, this A note, and we're going to slide into it. So we're just going from below the note and then going to slide into it. So then measure 2 is 5 to 7 slide with your ring finger of your left hand. We're going to slide to 5 to 7 where hopefully if you're in 2 and that's the same note. So that's like an example of that filling up the sound. So rather than just going, it doesn't have quite the same quality as. So we're filling it up. It's also very like a fiddle style. So early bluegrass mandolin is inspired a lot by fiddle playing. So those slides into that same note is a very fiddle way to play a melody. So that's what we're doing there. So again, we have 1, slide, and do down, up, and then 2 more down ups on the open, and I just use the open there to get back, and then 2nd fret. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it really doesn't matter how many times you hit the 7th fret. You can slide up and jump right off to the A string if you want, or you can keep it down like that, or you can do. So you really just want to hear the start of that slide. So don't get too worried about how long you stay on that 7th fret. You just want to make sure you get back to this 2nd fret. So you have, that's kind of how I'm doing. I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Make sure you keep the pressure of your ring finger down while you slide. The other thing I'm doing is I'm making sure I'm hitting both pairs. And then a little response, open A, and then down up on the A, and then a quick 2, 4 slide on the D string, and I'm going to hit both pairs of the middle strings, D and A, and then 2nd fret, and then open D. So you have, hear how that fills up the sound with that open A drone? You could actually hit both of them here too if you want. And then we're going to slide from 4 to 7, same concept that we did up on the A string. If you slide from 4 or 5 to 7 on the D string, that's where that note's the same. So the concept that I want you to understand is instead of just playing the open strings like this, which would be like a very beginner version, which is okay, it's not bad, but doesn't sound as bluegrassy as this does, right? So that slide, and I'm using my middle finger there, and then we do our same pickup to start the next phrase. So not too hard, let's do it real slow. Here we go, 1. You could just loop that actually. And then we play that same phrase again. Same slide here, and then just a slight variation here, 2, 4 slide, and then instead of going to the 2nd fret, we're going to go back to open. So we have, and then we're going to go to an A chord. So put your index finger of your left hand on the 2nd fret of the D string and play the middle 2 strings, which is like a partial A chord, and we're going to do down, and then down, up, down, and then 4th fret with an up. So you have. So I'm just looping measure 8 for practice. You have. So let's play that second line. We have 1. We have. And then a little lick, 2 open, and then 3 2 open, add a little bluesy flavor. 4th fret on the G string with an upstroke, really important, and then 2nd fret. So you have that 3rd fret instead of the 4th fret. If you did the 4th fret, it would be a little more major, which you could also do, but adding that little bit of blues is just kind of nice. Let's play 8 and 9 together. So we have, and like I said earlier, don't get too caught up on the drone strings. If you just hit the 2nd fret, it's fine. You know, you want to practice the drones, but if you can be a little bit liberal with your right hand. So, you know, if you don't hit the A string the whole time, it's not the end of the world, right? But it's good practice to try and hit both pairs of strings. The other thing I'll do there is a little accent. So I kind of accent the first note of measure 8, and then I accent here, and then I accent this 3rd fret. So you have, remember, your right hand is your rhythm and it's kind of your groove factory. So you're trying to create a little bit of a danceable groove with your right hand. So kind of add a little bit of that flavor, and that just takes practice. But I'm basically just trying to add a little bit of a rhythm to my right hand with the accents. So let's play that 2nd line from 5 to 9. Here we go. Looping it. If you accidentally hit another string, like I accidentally hit the G string there, not the end of the world. You want to obviously try and clean it up, but it's not the end of the world, right? So let's play those first 9 measures. Here we go. 1.